Hello, welcome to a new video for the channel. This video will review all of the trades we took this last week. This week was amazing. We were actually around 4 to 5 hour down on the funded accounts. We have two funded accounts on Apex. So yeah, it was nothing crazy. Everything that was happening was expected. Um, there was one or two trades we were probably not supposed to take, but overall it was a great week. We were down 4 to 5 RR again. We finished 7 RR above, which totals 13 RR, including a monster trade on YM that I will review shortly. So let's get to it. Okay. First, we took ES as the first trade. Right over here, you can see that I was basically saying if price comes down and then comes back up, we buy stop the high. Let's go into ES, look at it. First, let's look at the context. What do you see here? I see that price is very, very clean. By the way, I was actually using the time frames, my 1 minute as my entry time frame, 5 minutes as my middle time frame, and 1 hour as my higher time frame, just so you know. And the daily is just like a context confirmation, make sure we're on the right side of the market. This is very important, in my opinion. If you're trading a good context on a daily, the lower time frames are just gonna flow with it. It's amazing how it looks like. Look at this context. It's impossible to be losing overall. You're gonna take losses, yes, but overall you should be making money in these areas, right? So you see all the EMAs are stacked up in order. We're overall bullish, and there's lots of strength coming in here. We come back right over here into the EMA 10, and then we follow through. So stage 1, stage 2, stage 1 right over here in stage 2. Now let's go into the 1 hour time frame. We see that we went into a longer term stage 1, basically accumulation. We are here, we took the trades. Actually, we're on the second momentum wave. You see number 1, number 2, and as we go into the 5 minute time frame, what do you see? Right over here, that's where we were at. I see that price leaves a supply and demand zone, has imbalance right over here, right over here, right over here. Also comes back into 10 very cleanly. And what happens on the 1 minute time frame? Let's go. What happens? We enter right over here, and we enter right over here. This trade, I'm actually not quite proud of this one. It doesn't even come back into the 50, and it starts getting choppy. If I was to choose, again, I wouldn't have taken it, but one or two small mistakes, they don't really matter. We're on the 1 minute time frame, so you really have to think quick. But yeah, I wouldn't have taken this, but it is what it is. It's part of training. You will always make mistakes. You just have to make them as less often as possible, right? And okay, we entered after price made what we wanted to. We were just in time because we have to trade. We have to enter on two accounts. I'm not really using a trade copier. It's just two accounts, I can do it. I was moving my stop loss higher as this big candle happened, because I was like, if this goes any lower than this candle, there's no point in holding this trade. It's gonna keep moving down. So what happened? Price keeps moving up. I wanted to come just a bit higher because of spread. I wanted to really make sure that we're not going coming back and then back up. So I moved my break even. I believe I moved my break even a bit higher after this. And we did, coming down, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be a break even, but we recover, price recovers, and then I was like, okay, then we're moving up, right? Guess what? Price comes down, breaks us even, no problem, and then we go into the next trade, which was this one. Again, I'm not really proud of this one. I wouldn't have taken this. Let's make it as quick as possible. It was actually a 30-second trade, I think. It was just one single 1 minute candle, and it lasted like 30 seconds. You can see it here. It started at 6, 5 6 p.m. and it finished at, let's see. Okay, so the trade lasted exactly 32 seconds. It was crazy. And I actually edited this. At this point, we're down, 4 to 5 RR. We're risking from $40 to $50 per trade. So that's around that. 4 to 5 RR. So yeah, but it was nothing really. I mean, I wasn't sweating it. The drawdown is 2,000. If you lose an account like that, I mean, there's no point in. I mean, then you cannot trade. If you're losing the accounts, you're risking 40. When there's a 2,000 drawdown, you have to lose 30 consecutive times. Okay. Now this one is NQ. Again, everything had the same context. Everything looked great. Don't pay attention to every single one of these because a lot of these I didn't take. I was just theorizing. Okay, same context. Daily, how does it look like? EMA stacked up, looked amazing, great context. It's going to the 1 hour right over here. I believe it was here. Second momentum wave, accumulation over here, so it's great. 5 minute time frame, right over here. We were a bit extended, but I was willing to take it because it was so clean. I mean, we had 1 2 3 momentum waves, but it looks, just a little bit because of this area. It looked like we were even more extended, but I mean, it looked great. Supply and demand on here, imbalance above the EMAs, all of them stacked up, comes back to 10. Then I go back into the 1 minute time frame. What happens? I enter. Comes back to the 50. Impulse, retracement, impulse, I enter. Lots of strength coming in. Actually, almost stops me into break even, gets me into break even. And that's why I recorded it, because if I told you, you wouldn't believe this. You would think I just broke you even. But I actually didn't, because I leave space. This was not the perfect end. I mean, it was a great entry, but still, if you really look into it, this was the perfect entry, right? The area where I would have entered. So I moved it there, and I even moved it lower. Okay, it was like a microscopic break even, but I did. Don't pay attention to this. Yeah, this area. So it was where, in my mind, it was the best area to break even. Yeah, don't pay attention to this. Okay, let's give it. Let's say just make it faster. Okay, let's move back. Because you need to see this. Wow, I just look at this. Almost. I really thought we was moving straight back up, and then comes back and almost stops us on break even again. And this was actually a nice re-entry. You want to take it, but no, I wasn't gonna take it. I was already on a trade, so no way. And then we just make it faster. You can see that we're getting to profit right over here. We took a take profit at around 4 RR, I believe. Let's confirm. Yeah, it was around 4 to 5 RR, but we took a partial of 1 at the market. It was market order, and then we moved the break even just above. I didn't record the rest because I was running out of space, But yeah, we took another plus one RR, which was nice. Yeah, I just moved it right over there. We took break. I mean, not a break even, but if we were completely out by that time, right around that area. As you can see, this is where we got it. It was like a plus 3 RR, and then we went into Australian dollar futures in this. This was actually a 15-minute entry. Context was good. Again, same context, exact context. Then the 2 hour middle time frame on the third momentum wave, which is fine. And then we enter right over here, almost at market open at New York. Actually, we didn't took a full loss. It was a minus 0.7 because I saw that we were moving really choppy. So I was moving it above. The original stop loss was here, and I moved it around here, I believe. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It is nothing. I mean, every single trade is the same. But let's just take a look at it. Spread was quite bad, so I didn't like it. That's why I also moved it. Yeah, look at this spread. It was getting higher, so I don't like that. Okay, let's come back. Okay, this is where I moved it, and instead of taking like a minus 50 or minus 40, it was like a minus 30, something like that. Okay, now let's go into the last, I think, last two trades. This was ES at market open. Again, same exact context. Why? Because we look for the same exact thing every single time. Just look at this. Amazing. On the daily, we're very bullish. All the EMAs are stacked up. Maybe this one wasn't so good, the EMA 50, but this is just for context. This was great. The 1 hour, we're on the third momentum wave right over here. 5 minute time frame. What do you see? You see that price comes back here. If anything, it was maybe like a bit too much of a retracement. And we actually missed this trade. It was amazing, but I wasn't in the charts at the moment. So I was comparing between them all, and I didn't take this one because this was even bigger. This area was even bigger than this one, and YM wasn't setting up just yet. I think it was around here, so I didn't take anything here yet. Then going to ES or the S&P 500, and I took this trade. Comes back below the 50, pulls up, traces, and then takes the high. We break even at 1 RR, and then breaks us even. You can see it here. Here. Okay. Yeah, it was here. Yeah, right over here. I didn't record the break even, but yeah, you can see where we move the stop loss to break even right over here, and then we go into the next video. And again, I didn't record this one, but this is YM. This is YM over here, and then we just make an analysis again. Daily was amazing. It was a bit not as good as the other ones, but they look great. The 1 hour, we were just coming off of accumulation over here, but right over here we see that comes back into 10 and 20. So this is where I started liking it. We go into 5 minute time frame, and I mean, if you compare every other context to the NQ and ES, this is the best one. Like, these are probably too big. This was okay, but you see NQ, this was way too big. This range was too big for me. But going to YM, and this, I mean, this is overall the best, the most aggressive. So it was perfect for me on the 5 minute time frame. Leaves a supply and demand zone, really strong candle, comes back to the 10 and 20. And go look into the 1 minute time frame. And what happens? We go below the 50, then price pulls up, it retraces all the way here, and then breaks up over here. Lots of strength coming in, and we just partial right over here and here, right? So it was just a crazy trade, but also it's not unusual. It doesn't happen often, but it's not unusual either. This is what the strategy. This is the edge of the strategy, right? So we took a first partial for around 3.5 RR and a second partial for 4.5 RR. We had the video right over here where I was trailing on the second entry. Um, yeah, the equity was moving. We were moving higher. First partial was here, and then we were trailing over here. Let's just speed this up. Yeah, we're just moving constantly the partial, and we just took the full trade right over here on both accounts. We have two. So it was a very nice week, but this is just a testament, for what following good context, what are the rewards of following good context, because a lot of people want to find the top and the bottom, and this is this is it this is the top, and what happens, they get stopped out, -1. Oh no, this is the top. Sorry, actually I have to make it the opposite. Yeah, like this, like a short. This is the top. Let me get my big win. What happens? Absolutely nothing. You get lost. Oh no, this is the top. What happens? Again, topped out, stop loss, -1. This is the top. How many times are you gonna look for the top, till you're actually right? Uh, a lot of people think that you really have to do this in order to catch the big move, and that is not the case. We catch a +5 RR and a plus 8 RR, but the total RR was actually higher. It was like a total of 15 RR, 16 almost, and it's just following the trend, looking for good context. We're going into, it's just as simple as that. Look, overall context, we're bullish. The indicator is showing. Stage 1, we're right over here. We're moving into stage 2, right over here. The EMAs are stacked up. 200, 50, 20, 10. Maybe this one wasn't like stacked up on the 50, but overall it was great. Now going to the 1 hour, what do you see? Let me delete this, one sec. What do you see? Accumulation, overall bullishness. It says bullish. EMAs are stacked up. First momentum wave comes back to the 10 and 20, 5-minute time frame. What do you see? We're overall bullish. Here it says bearish because we just made these moves to the downside. But to me, I would look for buys if it sets up over here. But anyways, no, very very strong action. First momentum wave, second momentum wave, perfect. It's just clean, strong moves to the upside. And what happens again? Below the 50, up, down, up, and it's just the same trade over and over. If you look, all the trades I took, it's basically the same trade over and over with small variations, right? So this is what good context, good context makes when it comes to profits. You can see the accounts summary. Look at this equity curve. It looks amazing. We still have a long way to go, and I will, document this when we get the first payout or whatever. But you can just see the results. If you really want to join, if you really want to learn how to do this, you can join the mentorship. You don't have to. The videos clearly explain it, but if you wanna go into next level, you can join the mentorship. It's a great space. We have traders that are like-minded. If you want to join, just hit the link in the description. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.